I'll tell you, we're still fighting for this title, and he's still got to go to City and get something. Honestly, I would love it if we beat Villa. Love it. Okie dokie, feeling better after the outcome of the last episode. Episode 97. Here we go. This could be the episode where we finally win the Premier League. So we kind of set ourselves a bit of a goal to try and win every single competition we were in. Obviously, the goal going into the season was to just basically make sure we win the Premier League. We know for sure we are not going to stand a chance in trying to win the Champions League because we lost to Napoli, as we saw in the last episode. I'm still baffled by it. Go on, for the sake of it, just take a look at their match stats again. Giroud equalises with Napoli's only shot on goal of the first half, whilst we had about, I think it was something like 5 shots on target in that entire first half, and then Pedro Morales got sent off in the 41st minute. So you can probably guess who's not going to be in our starting lineup against Villa. Right, so we kind of discussed the situation at the end of the last episode. We've not secured the Premier League title just yet. We have a game at home, I think it's at home? Away from home, at Villa Park, against Aston Villa. If we win our game, Man United then have a game against Man City in a few days' time. If Man United fail to get anything but a win in that game, it practically means that if United draw, we'll be on 90 points and they'll be on 85. And with one game to go remaining in the league, United, even if they win their last game of the season, obviously mathematically won't be able to win the Premier League. But if we get anything other than a win against Villa, let's say we draw, it leaves us on 88 points. And then let's say we lose our last game of the season and United beat City and Liverpool for their, I think it's Liverpool, or it could be Chelsea, for their last 2 games of the season. It would then leave them on I think, did I say if Man United win both their games? Yeah, it will leave them on 90 points and us on 88. So basically, it's not over yet. But the best we can hope for this game is just to basically make sure we beat Villa. If we beat Villa, we'll literally almost have a hand on the Premier League title. And hopefully it'll as kind of put behind what happened to us in the Champions League semi-final. But Aston Villa are fighting for their lives at the bottom of the Premier League. They are currently in the relegation zone, but a point for them at this current moment in time would probably be pretty massive. So without further ado, let's not waste any time. Let's cut to the chase, and I'll see you guys at Villa Park. Okie dokie then, we're at a stadium with tons and tons and tons of history at Villa Park, and it's probably about time we try to make history ourselves and win Blackburn's second ever Premier League title. Tactically, away from home, the fullbacks come in. Varjek, wing back. Kunz is actually been told to dribble more. Reason behind that is Ben Gibson. 13 pace, 10 acceleration. He isn't really much of a fullback, let's be honest. Is playing out on that left wing, and who better to drive him crazy than our little German pace machine in the form of Matthias Kunz. 17 acceleration, 15 pace on that lad. Varjek as well, very, very fast player. 16 acceleration, 14 pace. Make him a wing back. Get them attacks going down the right-hand side with Rog's pace, making them runs from the middle of the park as well. Try and overpower Ben Gibson. Other than that, pretty straightforward. We've gone with a slightly higher defensive line. Now, it's not something I'd normally do when we're playing against two strikers, but neither Munir or Bodvarsson are really that fast. So I'm willing to play with a slightly higher defensive line, using the offside trap, of course, as you do. Standard mentality. But other than that, really, we've obviously put look for overlap on, as we always do, away from home. Piaka man-marking Ward. Kunz man-marking Correa. But really, you look on paper, guys. Again, on paper, this should be an easy game for us. But as we saw against Napoli, easy games don't really exist. But all we can really do is jump in, hope that our quality shines through, and if not, make tactical tweaks from there. So there we go, we kick off. And, well, with regards to whether this is going to be the end of the series, that's something I can't really answer right now. Obviously, that is providing we do win the Premier League. Knowing my luck, I'm probably going to end up getting complacent again and throwing it away. For anyone who doesn't really get that reference, if you didn't watch last season, that probably explains why. We were 10 points clear at top of the Premier League at Christmas, and then we unfortunately... What the hell was that? Unfortunately, blew it, basically. So far, we've not been good enough, but we've had the mass majority of the possession. I may take retain possession off a little bit. It allows us to go a little bit more direct, try to apply that pressure a little bit more. Ben Gibson already struggling down that right-hand side. Matthias Kunz is in. It's a really good clearance from Moore. And I thought that was going to be the opener. Piaka to Barbosa, who scores. And is it going to be none other than Mr. Gabriel Barbosa, who secures his 20th goal for Blackburn Rovers in Blackburn Rovers colours in blue and white halves this season? Could that be the goal that almost secures us the Premier League title? Now, of course, we won't know whether or not we have secured the Premier League title until after the Man United result. For that reason, after this game, irregardless, I mean, it won't really make it into a double episode, but it kind of will at the same time. Regardless of what happens, I am going to be attending the Man United-Man City game, so it's going to be ridiculously... please don't concede. It's like Napoli. We conceded a minute later. It's their first shot on target as well. Do we seriously need to go back to dropping down to defend? What is that Thomas Kalla? Varjek? Have we seriously got to start dropping down to defensive again after we bloody score to avoid this bloody happening? Oh, but yeah, what I was going to say is after this game, we'll actually go and watch Man United's game against City and see what happens. 32 minutes in, start exploiting that right-hand side, increase our width a little bit, and let's go a little bit more attacking. Come on. We've been coming into games, dominating, playing well, having most of the possession. Let's take retain possession off as well. And then, like, as soon as we get the opening goal, we concede a bloody stupid goal like that. And now they've just disappeared. We've gone about 10 minutes without a chance on goal even happening. That's one of the frustrating things about playing in key. So in terms of tactical changes, I don't really feel like we need to change anything. We're playing well. Towards the end of that first half, we obviously made some small tactical changes, like taking retained possession off, going or trying to go a little bit more attacking. But it does seem like we have a bit of a personnel issue now. Marco Rog is looking a little bit nervous. So that is certainly something that probably needs to change. So what I'm going to do is Sousa really... We're going to move Sousa into midfield and bring Douglas on as a deep line playmaker. However, he's going to be on support. Matthias Kunz has actually had basically no impact whatsoever. So for that reason, Andre Gray comes on to the pitch. And I'm going to bite the bullet and go for it. Varella's going to come on at right fullback. We're just going to make 3 changes in one go. Varella's going to come on. Varjek seems nervous. Obviously, a little young. Knows what's at stake in terms of us needing to get a decent result this game. But we're not creating chances. And again, it feels like we've conceded 1 goal from 1 shot on target. Alenya to Piaka. Has to finish, and he does. There's a goal. I don't want to ruin the moment, but we're going to have to drop down to defensive because I don't think my heart will be able to handle conceding a minute after scoring a goal of our own again. It's ridiculous. It's like our defence just goes to sleep. And you know, all it takes, a match of football is 90 minutes long, but all it takes is 1 moment of magic, you know, for it to all go down the drain like it did against Napoli, undeservedly as well. Either way now, though, we are going to look to retain possession again. Let's decrease our width as well. And you know what? Our defence have been a little bit meh. So don't bother with the offside trap. Opposition 2 men up front. Just exploit the middle. be more disciplined, and just hold on to that goddamn ball. We are actually going to go to a control mentality, change my mind. And name of the game, hold on to that bloody ball. Almost feels like right now I'd probably like to bring on someone like a Romeu for his experience, but also as a ball-winning midfielder, just to help us try and keep the ball in midfield. Varela's had a really good impact ever since coming on. Piaka to seal the deal. And oh my god, he missed the exact same chance against Napoli as well. Not even kidding. Except it was on our side of the pitch rather than that other side of the pitch. Bodvarsson, target man up front for Aston Villa. He's tracked back, manages to clear the ball away for Aston Villa. 10 minutes to go. And bar their goal, Aston Villa haven't managed a single shot on target. And when you look at the stats, it's kind of ridiculous that this game has finished 2-1. But what's important, though, is that it says we've secured a big result today. And it most certainly was a big result. I'm going to be honest with the lads. I'm going to say we were a little bit poor. Some of them won't like it. I don't know what Barbosa did other than score a goal to merit a rating of 9.0. Do kind of understand why Andre Gray feels disappointed. He wasn't exactly on for a long time, only around just under 30 minutes. But what matters is that we've secured a win. Man United still have to go to Man City in a few days' time. And if they don't win that game, then we become Premier League champions. If they do win that game, however, they've got Chelsea on the final day of the season. And we will have Liverpool. So we are at the Etihad Stadium. Man City, obviously, 3 points for them would edge them a little bit closer to Champions League qualification. It's interesting to see that both Newcastle and West Ham so far this season have finished above Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs. But in terms of lineup, so Man City's manager, of course, is, I believe it's Louis van Gaal. I'm probably wrong. No, it is Louis van Gaal, who lines up with a 4-2-3-1. And Jose Mourinho is, of course, the special one and still manager of Man United. Joe Hart returns, this time as a Red Devil. 4-2-3-1 for Man City. Lirola, Stones, Otamendi, Alaba, Jack Butland in goal, Vigel, Maya, Götze, Sané and Julian Brandt in midfield, and Inácio. Good players on the bench though. Slammer in goal. Munoz, Pulisic, Zaza, Aguero, Llorente and Raheem Sterling. So plenty of attacking options on the bench. As for Man United, really, as we said, for them, they need to win. Anything other than a win, given that we won against Villa and they concede the Premier League title and we manage revenge for what happened last season. Marcus Rashford up front, Juan Mata playing as the playmaker behind him, Shaqiri on the right, Eden Hazard on the left, partnership of Saul and Schneiderlin in the middle of the park, Luke Shaw as the attacking wing-back on the left, Lindelof slightly more balanced on the right-hand side, De Vrij and Phil Jones at centre-back with David De Gea in goal. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this game develops. Man United need all 3 points to keep their hopes and dreams of retaining the Premier League title that they've been so dominant on for so long. They obviously salvaged it on the last day of the season last season, but so far we're the front runners. And who better than Manchester City to stop United from winning yet another Premier League title? And looking at the match stats, 25 minutes in, it is Man City who have had the better of the few opportunities the sides have really had. That's a very, very poor ball from Julian Brandt. I think he's called Julian Schneiderlin to Lindelof, who's a centre-back playing at right-back, who finds Shaqiri. Otamendi, that is dreadful. And Otamendi's been bribed here by Jose Mourinho. Surely that was horrific defensively from Otamendi. It's horrific. If Otamendi had done that in the middle of the park and lost the ball, that still would have been horrific, let alone right in front of his goalkeeper. Looked like he was trying to pass it back to his goalkeeper. To be fair, the goalkeeper was kind of moonwalking backwards. If the goalkeeper had actually just, Butland had ran to the ball and got rid, then Rashford and his pace wouldn't have actually been able to really pounce on that. So it looks like we are going in at half-time. Marcus Rashford keeping Man United's title hopes alive. It'd be interesting to see whether or not we've actually seen a change in formation. So what I'm going to do is actually bring up Man City's formation. Where is it? There it is. Let's take a look. Just, discuss the tactical battle going on between the AI, Lirola. Now, this Man City team love to play on the counter-attack, and you can see why when they can actually pass the ball correctly. Maya. And I was actually quite surprised to see how counter-attacking this Man City side has been in this save under Louis van Gaal, given the fact that he is Louis van Gaal, of course. But they've played some awesome counter-attacking football against us. And, well, you probably expect Sané to score from that kind of scenario. You do feel that the next goal in this game is incredibly important. It almost feels like if Man City can grab it, then it's game on. If Man United, particularly away from home, a Jose Mourinho side can make it 2-0, they'll be more than capable of sitting deep, digging deep, and defending the 2-0 lead they've got. But talking about counter-attacks, Mourinho's sides tend to be pretty good at them as well. And there we go. 5 minutes, just less than 5 minutes actually, into the second half. And Man United, well, they're not going down without a fight, I'll tell you that. Juan Mata puts it past Butland. And, it looks like it might very well be going down to the last game of the season, where, I've got to be honest, goal difference doesn't really work in our favour. Basically, Man United are probably going to win this, and there's a second from Rashford, and that's only going to bring more goals for Man United's goal difference. So, as far as the last game of the season is concerned, we've got Liverpool, United have Chelsea, and if United win and we lose, United win the league on goal difference. If we draw and United win, then we win the league on 91 points. If we win and United win, then, well, it doesn't really matter what the United score is. If we beat Chelsea, we win the league. It's as simple as that, given how things currently stand. I think I'm just very, very disappointed that Man City haven't been able to put up a better fight against Man United. With it being a derby and stuff, Man City being the home side, Sterling, Pulisic and Zaza all coming on, and all I can really do in this kind of situation is have another sip of my tea and hope we can beat Liverpool on the last day of the season, or at least draw against them, because that would be obviously enough for us. As long as we don't lose, we should be alright. Well, I say should be alright, we will be alright. Maths is maths, isn't it? Rashford wants a hat-trick, though. I'd rather he doesn't get a hat-trick and obviously leave him going into the final game of the season on a high. But I guess when you beat your biggest rivals 3-0, if that ain't a high going into the final game of the season, I don't know what is. I think the first goal conceded was hilarious, but you have to admit, other than that one Sané solo effort where he dribbled in, cut inside, Man City did not deserve anything from this game. Liverpool are 8th. Man United away at Chelsea. We play 8th, they play 7th. At the moment, all I'm fussed about is beating Liverpool. If we can beat Liverpool, then we secure the title regardless what happens. They've had some real poor form recently, as we can see, and it feels like this will be the ideal time to play them, and it naturally feels like they should let us win if they don't want one of their arch rivals to win the Premier League. All these losses, unbelievable. I'm actually surprised he's not been sacked yet, but he probably will be sacked after this final game of the season anyways. But we're beaten 1-0 away from home early on in the season. If you ask me, I think we can do it again. But you'll have to wait until the next episode. I've been Kynite. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm really gutted that we've still not got a Champions League final to play, but it is what it is. We do, though, have to play Man City, who, as we've just seen, aren't exactly all that. After losing 3-0 at home to Man United at Wembley in the FA Cup final. When I say at Wembley, at home to Man United, I mean we're going to play them at Wembley for the FA Cup final. Which really would mean that we have come into this season, and if we win the Premier League, we'll have won every single competition we've played in, bar the Champions League. I think what's mainly disappointing is that Napoli, who are currently 11th in Serie A, are in the final as opposed to us. Meanwhile, the team we knocked out earlier on in the tournament, who have won La Liga in the form of Roma, aren't. But in terms of the Italian teams, of course. But anyways, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment downstairs, down below. See you next time, where we'll hopefully become Premier League champions.